Hi, I'm Mariana Danilovich with Hollywood Portfolio, and we're here in Digital Hollywood Spring 2012 with Jeff Demain, who is with Intel Labs. And Jeff, tell us a little bit about your function at Intel and what Intel Labs are working on that's quite interesting right now.
Oh, certainly. So Intel Labs is the forward-facing part of Intel. We take a view 5, 10, 15 years out, understand what experiences people from consumers to data center to banking to industrial, what that world would look like, what would the technology needs be that would fulfill those experiences. And Intel Labs not only takes that view, but takes the risk or the speculative position of let's begin to develop those technologies ahead of our product groups, and then eventually the technologies that we are working on or the experiences we are working on become compelling, and we transfer those into products. We work with a number of partners, academia, industry, and my role specifically is some of the strategies in that direction, take a view of the future, be a growth futurist, and then ultimately the business side of it. What makes sense? What should we transfer to a product group? What should we kill off? What didn't work? So that's the perspective from Intel.
So what are some hot topics and developments in digital media, since we're at a digital media conference, that Intel Labs may be engaging in that you can talk about?
Oh, sure. Yes, without giving any secrets away. But what we certainly are very interested in is this immersive future. So today we talk about, for example, the second screen. What happens with the second screen? What happens with content? What happens with advertising? How are people using a second screen? How is the living room transforming? And in an immersive environment, what we're interested in is what happens when every surface becomes a display, right? So when your cup of water itself is a display, the walls, the floors, everything can be a display. What happens with content? What happens with immersion? How do we address that from a social fabric and a technology fabric? So that's something we're particularly interested in. The advancement of those displays, whether you're 4K or 8K or it's digital cinema or cinema in your home, on your phone, how do we create technologies that fulfill those? How do we make processing faster? How do we make movies move faster from your phone to your TV? So how do we advance the world of 3D? So it's not a cumbersome experience, but it's a natural experience. So those are a number of the interests we have. How do we generate content between the cloud and your device? So how can we bring richer and richer content to the devices around you, utilizing infrastructure that's somewhere in the internet?
Do you foresee that the cloud is actually going to be a prevalent way of storing some of the media and then distributing the media because of just the sheer amount of storage needed that kind of exceeds the devices?
Yes, yeah. No, absolutely. It's the cloud to us is not a concept that is transitory in some way, and in 2 years it's replaced with the next technology buzzword. You're absolutely right. It's a core principle is how much content can you carry in your proliferation of mobile devices. That's one aspect of it, and you can't carry it all. And so you have to store it somewhere. People are less and less interested in storing this at home or managing their storage or backing up their storage. I just want this to be somewhere, and I want it to be accessible from wherever I am. So yeah, the cloud is key. The cloud technologies are being built out. I think it's a very natural fit. The other part of the cloud is, as capable as your phone is, it can't compute everything. A much more natural game experience where hair flows much more like natural hair. So the cloud will probably provide that compute capability. The rendering will appear on your phone or your tablet or your mobile device. So there'll also be a compute shift that goes from devices to the cloud as well.
So then what kind of is interesting is that if one looks at an iPad, for example, and forgive me if Intel technology is not in it, but I'll use it as the example, it seems to be getting more and more like a computer in terms of it's missing things, let's just be honest. I mean, there are things that one would like to do, like add files to it, and take files from it and move them, and it's a cumbersome process. And is that device gonna get more, in essence, enabled with functionality, or is the functionality gonna be placed more in the cloud versus in the devices?
I think both. I think the devices will become more enabled. What a particular company's product plans are, I don't know. But if you look at the requirements overall, people are saying exactly what you are. I'd like to be able to move a little bit of this, back and forth, right? I'd like a little more functionality. So I think you'll see the emergence of devices that do that. We see them today. I think what happens are these device categories start to disappear, right? Everything will become more capable. At the same time, you still have the cloud, always ahead of storage, always ahead in compute capability. So, is it a phone, or is it a tablet, or is it a book, is it a desktop? Those categories blur with time. Right? There's the concept of transformables, new concept of sometimes it's a laptop when you need that laptop. So when you need a tablet when you want the tablet, so but when you want to create content, you want to move information, right, it transforms itself into a laptop. So it much more adapts to the usage. So I think that will probably have a key role in the future.
And also kind of educating consumers to know what they really want. Because that seems to be more and more challenging as more and more options are available.
Yeah, that's true. It's how do you not have that explode, right? Sort of as Intel or any technology company, we could dream of more than a market could ever accept, right? We're driven by technology, but every company is seriously looking at it. Intel, we certainly are. It's much more what is the user experience rather than what's the technology and how do we use this technology. And being very, very aware of this proliferation of capabilities and technologies that exist in the overwhelming aspect to the consumer. But there'll be this continuous march of advancement, and I think those capabilities will work their way in. Market leaders, market laggers will shift positions with time based on that, and there'll be winners and losers depending on who sees that vision and who knows how to get to that vision in a successful way.
Quite a bit to be done.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing these views with us. It's fascinating to have that kind of a research budget behind, I would say, developing the future. So
No, you're welcome. And yes, it's an exciting place to be.
quite exciting. Thank you.